Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I'm Michael. Welcome to class. What people consider beautiful varies depending on the country, culture, and era. But one concept remains consistent. Great importance is placed on women's beauty. However, what was considered beautiful 100 years ago is different from the beauty standards of today. Let's dig deeper into this idea of beauty and the importance for women. We are going to talk about three things in today's lesson. The first part focuses on changes in beauty standards regarding China and the West. The second part is about how physical appearance impacts women in the workplace. The third part talks about promoting one's self-image to look good at work. We all know how different Chinese and Western culture are, and the idea of beauty is certainly different too. But how different? Let's look at beauty standards throughout Chinese and Western history, shall we? We'll start by looking at Chinese women of the past. During the Qin and Han dynasties, being moral was stressed more than beauty for women. Because of this, women's clothing remained relatively simple. Women eventually began to powder their faces because they realized that a white complexion could hide faults. The ideal woman had long black hair, white skin, and red lips. The queen of the Han Emperor became the symbol of beauty. Women eventually were expected to have small feet, and the custom of foot binding began. During the Sui and Tang dynasties, the mainstream beauty standard was natural, graceful, round, and healthy. A wide forehead, round face, and plump figure were the desired features of beauty. Additionally, women dressed in an open and bold style. In modern China, large eyes are considered to be beautiful, especially with double-folded eyelids. Also, having white skin may be considered as a necessity to be beautiful. There is a Chinese saying, 一白遮百丑. A white complexion can cover your facial flaws. This has led to the popularity of sun umbrellas, cream, skincare products, whitening pills, and even whitening injections. A woman's figure is also very important. She should have a slim body, narrow waist, and long legs. Women of the past were generally shorter, but today a taller woman is considered to be more beautiful. Hence, long legs are desirable. Women wear high heel shoes and boots to make themselves taller and make the legs appear longer. The face should also be narrow, like a goose egg face. A square face is considered masculine. Like China, Western beauty standards have greatly changed over the centuries. Let's go back to the Renaissance era, which lasted from the 14th century until the 17th century. The Renaissance woman had extra fat and wider hips. This was considered to be healthy and beautiful. Blonde hair became a big trend at this time. Makeup was extremely pale, but lips were bright red. A famous example of this is the Armada portrait of Queen Elizabeth I of England. Many changes in beauty standards occurred in the Victorian era, from 1837 to 1901. Unlike Renaissance women, Victorian women were very conscious about their bodies. Women wore corsets to achieve the smallest waistline humanly possible. A corset is a garment which squeezes the waist to make it smaller. A small waistline helps their butts look larger. For makeup, women were expected to use it sparingly. One example of this is the portrait of Mrs. Lockett Agnew. Let's skip ahead to more modern times and talk about the golden age of Hollywood, which was from the 1930s to the 1950s. During this time, women were also very conscious about their bodies and wanted to build muscle tone. Hairstyles became more feminine than the 1920s. Women also began to take very good care of their skin. Additionally, women began to try to look like their favorite movie stars. One notable movie star who set the standard for beauty was Marilyn Monroe. Her hourglass figure became the new desired body type in the 1950s. In the West today, women have more choices than ever before. We're seeing a mixture of almost every major fashion trend of the past. Many clothing styles are popular now that were not in the past, like skinny jeans. Currently, the style for makeup and hair is not very concrete, and women enjoy a variety of styles. Some women are even pursuing retro styles. For body type, a woman should be moderately thin with large breasts and a big butt. She should also have a flat belly and healthy skin color. However, these standards are changing and are much looser than in previous years. With such drastic changes in beauty standards over the ages, one tends to wonder why such changes have occurred. There are quite a few, actually, which explains why so many differences have existed. One reason in beauty changes stems from the economy and society. Take China, for example. Throughout much of China's history, having pale white skin has been seen as beautiful. Dark skin, however, has been viewed as unattractive. But why is this? Traditionally, people who have darker skin are the ones outside doing hard manual labor. They have little money and have a low social status. On the other hand, those who have white skin do so because they are rarely exposed to the sun. They are indoors because they have a higher social status and are in charge or above those working outdoors. This is why having pale white skin is desirable. The reverse is true for the West. For the past 50 to 60 years, tan skin has been considered desirable. This trend started when a famous rich fashion designer, Coco Chanel, got a tan on a vacation. The idea is, if someone has a lot of money, they can afford to go on expensive vacations. On these warm, sunny vacations, of course they will get a tan. Thus, having a tan will make someone appear to have a higher social status. Another reason why beauty has changed is because of rulers. In many countries, especially China, each ruler had their own preference as to what kind of woman they found beautiful. Some preferred a plump, healthy woman, while others preferred a thin, pale woman. These preferences have shaped beauty standards over the ages. For example, one of the emperors of State Chu preferred a thin waist. So, all the women around him starved themselves to remain thin. Cultural and religious reasons have also had a big influence on beauty. Years ago, many paintings and artwork represented the ideal woman. Today, this is still true, except with TV and movie stars rather than artwork. Women in the media have represented ideal beauty standards throughout the ages. Religion has also played a role. Throughout the world, different religions have standards about how a woman should and shouldn't look. Any country's culture which is heavily centered around a religion will have a particular beauty standard that matches. Today, there is one thing that affects beauty but did not exist in the past. Social media. Social media allows women to keep up with various beauty trends. They can keep up with popular trends as well as follow their favorite celebrity and copy their appearance. In addition, the beauty industry takes advantage of social media by using it to promote their beauty products and create new trends. So what can we conclude from all of these reasons? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Not everyone shares the same views on beauty. Our culture, upbringing, and our own minds determine what is and isn't beautiful. Despite the world becoming more globalized, beauty standards still remain distinct from culture to culture. Eastern beauty and Western beauty have largely differed in most of history, and people's opinions are very much influenced by their own traditions. So now that we know about beauty trends throughout history, let's go a bit deeper. We know that throughout history, much of a woman's worth has been placed on her beauty, and this concept is no different today. Many people argue that this is unfair. Nevertheless, there is no doubt that superficial qualities have a big influence on women in the workplace. If you want to get a raise or a promotion, you might want to start considering your appearance more. Your appearance can raise or lower your chances of getting a well-deserved promotion, regardless of your actual performance. This is especially true in a struggling economy when advancements are hard to come by. Studies show that women who advance quickly are more attractive, thinner, taller, and look more youthful than their female colleagues. Let's take a closer look at some of these specifics. First, let's start with weight. Many people argue that women put too much pressure on themselves to be a certain weight. They may go on unhealthy diets or even have surgery to become thin. It's difficult for many people to understand why women would go through such extremes to have a certain body type. But if we look at certain statistics, one may begin to understand the pressure, especially for women in the workforce. According to a paper from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, there is a significant wage penalty for overweight white women. One study even found that when white females gained an additional 64 pounds, their wages dropped 9%. The second aspect, which may be less obvious, is height. One study shows that a woman who is 5 feet 7 inches tall, or 170 centimeters, will make $5,250 more in a year than a female coworker standing 5 feet 2 inches tall, or 157 centimeters. Again, this seems unfair, but what are the possible reasons for this? One possible reason is that we like to look up to our leaders. This means that a subordinate is more likely to respond positively to a taller manager. It is true that someone who is taller has a more authoritative presence than someone who is shorter. Next is clothing. Everyone knows the motto, "Dress to impress." Your clothing strongly influences other people's perception of you in many ways. These ways include trustworthiness, intelligence, and suitability for hire or promotion. We will get into more details about clothing in Part 3. But first, let's listen to two people from our course discussing the importance of dressing properly.
You might also improve the way you dress, maybe with a few more warm colors.
I'm afraid I don't know much about fashion design and warm colors. Do you really think the way we dress influences people?
You must be kidding. The first impression you give is based on your appearance and clothes.
So how important is appearance? Let's look at a study done by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. The study found that about 73% of women felt a youthful appearance played a role in getting a job, getting promoted, or keeping clients. Another study shows that people low in physical attractiveness earn 5 to 10% less than ordinary-looking people. In turn, ordinary-looking people earn 3 to 8% less than those who are considered good-looking. Actually, there's a theory that can explain this phenomenon called the halo effect. The halo effect means our impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their character. It describes the importance of having an attractive appearance. So it's no surprise that our appearance plays such a big role in how others perceive our character. Studies show that attractive individuals are rated more highly in qualities such as creativity, intelligence, and sensitivity than unattractive individuals. Let's take a look at U.S. history to see how influential appearance can be. In 1960, the U.S. had its first television presidential debate between Kennedy and Nixon. Before 1960, presidential debates were broadcasted on the radio. Nixon was pale and underweight from recently being hospitalized. He appeared sickly and sweaty. Kennedy, on the other hand, appeared calm and confident. He was young, handsome, and energetic. Those who listened to the debate on the radio thought Nixon had won. Conversely, those who watched the debate on TV thought Kennedy was the clear winner. Nixon performed much better in later debates and appeared healthier, but it was too late. The first debate was people's first impression, and people's minds had already been made up. Kennedy acknowledged TV's role in his victory, saying, "It was the TV more than anything else that turned the tide." From this example, we can clearly see how important a good impression and appearance are. We have just finished talking about the impacts of physical appearance, so let's talk about promoting one's self-image. Now that we know how important appearance is in the workplace, how can we look our best? As a woman, there are a number of factors to take into consideration. First, let's start with clothing and accessories. For clothing, the simplest advice is to follow the dress code. Each organization has a different dress code, so be sure to be clear on your company's dress code. Your company's dress code may be business formal, business casual, or casual. In a business setting, women generally wear the classic business suit. A skirt and blazer is also appropriate, provided they are the right color. Neutral shades of gray, black, white, brown, etc. are good choices. Darker colors convey a stronger impression. Avoid neon or flashy colors. Accessories like earrings or necklaces should be minimal. Nice jewelry helps complement an outfit, but don't over-accessorize. Accessorizing properly helps to give a strong impression for a woman without causing any distractions. Even in a non-corporate structure, a woman should choose her clothing and look wisely. Her look should complement her personality. In a casual work setting, women should still avoid wearing a very low neckline, extremely short skirt, and too many accessories. Now, let's move on to makeup. It is considered that cosmetics boost a woman's overall attractiveness. According to one study, women who wear makeup at work are perceived as being more competent, trustworthy, and likable. This, of course, is only if she is wearing the appropriate amount. Wearing an appropriate amount of makeup represents an attention to detail. So, what kind of makeup is appropriate? Less makeup is always better in the workplace. It should have a natural look and shouldn't be too heavy. Heavy makeup will divert others' attention from your professionalism. Too much flash or over makeup is considered to be too loud, the same as wearing clothing that is too bright. Being toned down or being subtle is equal to being professional. We all know the importance of having proper body language in the workplace. But are there certain ways a woman can make herself more attractive with body language alone? Of course. One simple way is keeping a smile. Someone recommends a woman to do this in our course. Well, it wouldn't hurt to be a little less formal and to smile once in a while. Another way is to walk upright and with confidence. This will make you appear taller than a woman who walks with her head down and her shoulders forward. Others will also perceive you as being more physically attractive. Let's quickly review what we discussed. First, we discussed changes in beauty standards. Second, we talked about the impacts of physical appearance in today's world. And third, we talked about promoting self-image. So, which era of beauty is your favorite? Why? Which style do you think is more beautiful? Chinese or Western? Also, do you plan on making any changes to your appearance? If you love beauty, love your body. Remember that you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on surgery to enhance your appearance. You don't need to go on unhealthy diets either. Instead, live a healthy lifestyle by eating a balanced diet and getting enough exercise. By doing so, you can remain happy, healthy, and beautiful. Thank you everyone for coming to class. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time!